because he was my first like adult like crush, like love interest in college, where I felt like, oh, I'm really ready, like I understand myself enough. He was like, nah. And then it wasn't until like a few, like basically years later, where we connected and we were like, wow, we actually have a lot.
And we're live, y'all.
And we're live. Good morning, America.
Good morning, everyone.
I'm here.
We have a guest. Welcome to episode 5
of Array of Thoughts. Episode 5 of Array of Thoughts. So this segment, I don't know if you know this, Jericho, but this is called Take Me Out to Coffee.
Yeah.
Where we take you out to coffee.
Yes.
I paid for this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hold on. I was going to pay for it.
Oh.
And then she wanted to blurt out my age.
Yeah, it's very on brand of you.
It's very much so,
I got
right?
to witness the whole, let's throw Ray under the bus.
Like, yeah. I don't think it was throwing Ray under the bus. It's more
we got a
shining
discount,
spotlight.
though.
Yeah,
we got a
we did.
discount, though.
I've shown a spotlight
Yeah.
on Ray, you know?
Did
So
I want to be in the spotlight?
No.
You never said explicitly, hey, I don't want to be in the
But the
spotlight.
sun doesn't choose who the spotlight on, though.
That's
I
true,
am the
too.
sun.
So then
You shine bright like a diamond.
Yeah, you are the spotlight.
All right. Anyway, welcome back to Array of Thoughts. My name is Raymond.
My name's Jervie Peralta.
And I'm Jericho. Hi, everyone.
Yes. Cool. So what did we get today? And what coffee spot did we go to?
We went to the Voyager on Stevens Creek.
Yes.
Shout out Voyager.
Very
It's really
local.
aesthetic. It was really pretty.
And that's just one of their very many locations here in San Jose. And then they also have some. Well, we went to the Santa Clara location.
Yeah.
They have a few in San Jose. There's one by my house. Now there's
one next to my house.
Yes,
I live so close.
Yeah, really? How far?
I was,
from
I
here?
think, 8 minutes away from that location.
Wow.
We were 10 minutes.
Yeah. So maybe we're neighbors, Jericho.
Maybe.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm meeting Jericho, so this is our first impression.
This will be a fun time.
It will be a fun time. I had a Kenya pour over.
I had a cold brew, my regular cold brew.
And I had a mocha.
Nice.
I like chocolate.
There's a little heart for you too.
Yeah.
A little heart.
But if you turn it upside down, it looks like an onion.
Bulby.
Or, you know. To me, it gave onion, okay? It was a beautiful onion.
It was a great onion, Voyager.
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking about garlic. Oh, my God. That's why.
We're out there like,
That's
okay.
why when I said it the first time, you all looked at me weird. And I was like,
So the
you guys
garlic
don't see
makes more
it?
sense.
Garlic.
Garlic
does
makes
make
more
sense,
sense.
Yeah.
Because I was just letting you have it.
Yeah.
You said onion. I was like, sure.
We'll roll
yeah.
with it.
You're like, what kind of onions does he have? Yeah, never mind.
Whatever
all
you
good.
say, Jericho.
I digress. Let's get on with this.
But
we
yeah,
will.
so-
We're going to start off with asking you 3 first date questions. As
3
you
first date.
regularly would a first
Okay.
date, right?
Yes.
Like getting to know somebody. So don't cringe at this. But Jericho, what's your favorite color?
Lavender.
Love
Or
that.
like a gray blue.
Yeah.
Like blue on the grayer side. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like almost like a not pastel, but like on the
spectrum of pastels.
Yeah,
Like going to pastels, but it's not fully spring yet.
Yeah. Do you have do you have any of those with you right now? No.
No.
Okay.
No. I had to think about it. I was like, am I wearing it? No, I'm not.
All right. Do you have a question? Do you have a first date question?
What do you like to do? Oh my God, a rainbow! Sorry.
A rainbow.
What do
Take a
you-
picture. Should I take a picture of that?
You
And
can
then
take a picture.
I'll insert it.
What do you like to do on your off days? On like your on a good day.
On a good day.
On a
well,
good day,
on my off
no restrictions, right?
Wow.
What do you like to do?
Really getting deep in the first date.
I know.
I don't
That's
know.
very specific.
Oh, it's so much for a quick first date question.
I know.
You can talk about it.
I like to be crafty. So whether that's like doing something creative, whether that's drawing, video games, I consider part of creativity. Thrifting, thrift flipping. I'm not good at any of these things, but I will participate
Right.
because it's just the enjoyment of being able to make something.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite thrift shop?
Savers on Almaden Expressway
Love. We were just there.
is huge.
Yeah.
Were we?
And also, if you go to Eco Thrift in Hayward, another huge warehouse.
I've never been there.
Super huge.
Yeah.
It
Is it the
ta-
same size as Savers?
Maybe a little bit bigger than that.
Oh, wow. This little rain that we're feeling
I
on our
know.
face right now, it's actually going to last for 43 minutes, and it will be fine.
Okay,
It's
weather.
fine. It's fine.
Okay, weather woman.
Yeah, thank you so
Wow.
much.
It's like she looked up to the sky and said, yeah.
I really did. The rainbow was speaking to me, and it said, hey, you know what? This is going to last for 43 minutes. I looked at my phone. The weather app has that.
Yeah.
I am the weather app.
You are the weather app.
Dude, what's your first date question?
Yeah.
What's my...
Specifically. Also, mind you, that first color, I just want to do a disclaimer. That's not a first date question I ask. I just thought, I was like, wouldn't it be fun?
I feel like that's a great first date if you're trying to feel out the vibe, though.
Yeah.
Because colors can tell you a lot about a person.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't even see it that way.
Because I feel like you could say like a basic like blue, but then you said lavender, and not you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like you can go a little bit. Sorry.
Do you like blue? I was
My favorite
like,
color is blue. It's
Oh, my
like
bad.
we're in the
No,
blue.
but, like-
You're just having like
I was like,
agreeing
I'm
with
so
Ray.
sorry, like-
No, yeah, you're right. You're
well, no,
blue
I meant,
is a basic color.
Not blue is a basic color. It's a response that is very like just short and
Right.
doesn't require much thought as to
Yes.
why.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
but
right.
if they expand on their option, it gives you a
Exactly.
little bit.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
meant. You know what I mean? So I.
No, you called blue basic. So.
Well, then again, it also depends on who's asking the question.
That's
Because then if you
true.
follow up
Yeah.
with like why or like is there a shade of blue and having like that in your back,
like
or
wanting
pocket.
to know.
yeah,
more,
then I guess the conversation goes
deeper.
deeper.
Yeah.
So,
Whatever.
Your first date question?
well, y'all sound so fun. Mine was gonna be like, okay, and one that I like to ask is like, tell me about your best friends and why do you love them?
Ooh. On the
Because you know how like
podcast.
birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
So the way you describe your best friend, especially your best friend, and how much you like think about them, kind of gives me insight to like what you love about the people that surround you, and it's a reflection of like then what your values are, without having to be like, oh, so tell me about like what you think about X, Y, and Z.
That's so interesting because I've been asked that on a first date before,
Yeah.
and I never saw the reason why until like I mean, I obviously talked about my best friends. We ended up
Yeah.
going on a few more dates after that, but I didn't realize that like that's the mentality behind it. I was like, this is random. We were like, we were, yeah. Anyways, they just asked me that question, and I
Yeah.
started talking about my best friend, and like, oh,
Do
I
you
love my
glow?
best friends.
Do you glow when you talk about your best friends? Like, do
I-
you feel like genuinely happy when you talk about your best
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100% do.
Yeah.
That's all I talk about is talk about my best friends.
Yeah.
And like I'll talk about my friends. Oh, you're out here like smiling. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ray.
So,
Come
so,
on,
what,
Ray.
so what are some values that you do?
that I do? So, Gabby, I know you're listening. I love it.
Okay, support.
I know,
We love the
right?
support from our friends.
No, because she messaged me not too long ago
Yeah.
because she lives in Arizona.
Okay.
Sorry, Gabby, for like outing your location.
The general state.
Right, the general state of
We don't
Arizona.
know where in Arizona.
And I
but
won't
there.
specify where in
Yeah.
Tempe, but
Oh my god! Cut that!
We're keeping it. We're keeping it.
Oh no!
she we met through work, and then we
Okay.
ended up becoming best friends because we are polar opposites.
Okay.
And we ended up bonding through a lot of experiences and shared values.
Okay.
And then I got her out of her shell, and then she got me into like standing my own ground and
Yeah.
speaking up for what I should accept and or whatnot in life
Yeah.
in general, at work, at school, or what have you.
Mhm.
And she's continuously teaching me.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that she can hopefully adopt me one day.
Oh wow.
Right? Well, no, I love her. I love her so much. But yeah. So she messaged me recently. She was like, "Hey, I started listening to your podcast,"
Mhm.
and then I stopped. And then I mean, I'll probably get back to it. So
Yeah.
like, if I
There's
won't
like 2
tell her.
episodes out
There-
right now. So like, where did you stop?
That's right. Yeah.
It's 20 minutes each. Come on.
Gabby.
Come on, Gabby.
Come on. Listen.
Finish the rest. Do it during
Okay,
the
I will say it
I
during the
appreciate
podcast. though.
support.
I will say it during
All
the
support is
podcast.
a win. A win. A win is
Can
a
I-
win.
Yeah,
A win is a win.
A win is a win.
You have
I
to
will.
do it.
I will expose a little something. So.
Oh no.
One
Why are you
time,
pointing at me?
Ray said, "That's so weird because I swear Gabby and I used to follow each other on Instagram."
Ooh.
And then I said, "Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up to Gabby." Fun fact: recently on our phone call, Gabby was like, "It's so weird because I went on Ray's account." Tried to listen to the podcast, and I thought Ray and I were following each other. So she didn't have a clue. Raymond didn't have a clue. I got both sides of the
Yeah.
coin, and I was like, "Who's telling the truth?
Wow.
Who's telling the truth? Who's telling the truth?"
Private investigator. Asking
Anyway.
the hard
Anyway.
questions. Anyway, so what are the values?
What
that
are the
you-
values? Oh, about my friendships. Yeah, just bringing each other up
Mhm.
and learning from each other. I think that's
Yeah.
that's the best, my most favorite things with my friends.
What about you, Ray?
Well, I'm like thinking in the forefront right now of my 3 best friends. And I know you're listening too.
Oh, okay.
Char's probably not listening to this.
Probably,
And
but hopeful thinking.
hopeful thinking.
Hopeful thinking.
And Aiko.
Yeah.
I think the values that I
Hi,
like,
y'all.
I love about them.
Mhm.
Well, one, they've always created like a safe space for me to really like, be
Mhm.
like Anne and Char, like we love to just banter, and like it's funny because we were just hanging out the other day
Yeah.
with Kent, Anne's husband,
Yeah.
and when we're in the car together, we're like uncontrollably laughing,
Mhm.
and Kent is just like, oh man, this is gonna be just like Seattle in April when we celebrate Char.
Yeah.
And from 12 years ago till now, it's like it's always been consistent, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, they just always opened a super safe space for me to, like, if I have anxiety and I call them, they will always pick up. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So I think that is that caring for, and that investment in the friendship really is always just appreciative and great, and I'm grateful for having them.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They're gonna be, Anne, Shar, and Aiko are gonna be my best women's in
Yeah.
my wedding. You know, that's
Not
what's
gender
gonna
norms.
happen.
You do whatever you
Yeah,
do for
exactly.
your
Yeah.
wedding.
And then with Aiko, we've again another friendship that has lasted for 12 years.
Mhm.
Like I was telling her the other day, because we celebrated our birthdays together. We're twins, and I told her, like, because she was getting super nervous about her birthday special workshop, and
You took that
and I
workshop,
took that
right?
workshop. It was really fun. I messed up, but it's okay, you know. But she was getting nervous about it prior, and I was just telling her, like, dude, like, you've done so many workshops. You've taught kids, adults, whatever, whatnot. This is
Mhm.
not. This is gonna be the same thing, right? And the fact that, like, I've it I I I throw up a little bit just telling her, because we have that brother sister relationship. But I tell her, like, you know, like, I actually really do admire, like, the hard work and hustle that she puts, and sometimes,
Yeah.
like, I have to tell her, like, it's okay to slow down because you've done 200%. You know what I mean? So it's her hard work and her hustle that just really motivates me to
Mhm.
especially moving into 30. You know. Yeah.
God damn.
Your face.
We got 10% because you're 30.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well, anyone could have gotten their 10% if it was their birthday.
You think so?
I don't think so.
It's a special only for 30s.
Yeah, only for 30s.
All right, y'all, go to Voyager. If you're
Yeah.
30, go to Voyager. Get
Imagine
the
if they're not
10%.
even allowed to get to do that.
Yeah.
And then the
Everyone just goes now for now
It's
on.
my birthday.
Yeah.
Oh God,
No.
started this.
But yeah.
Aw.
How about you?
Oh,
Why don't
for
you
me,
answer your own question? That
that's a
was
great one.
question.
What was my
yeah.
question again, please?
Best friend.
What values?
What values? I guess to simplify everything, I guess my best friends are like family. Definitely, they were there when I needed it the most, and I guess that's the part that I resonate with when I talk about full vibe. Is what I call my group of friends. We all were in the same org together,
Yeah.
and we were on the same like board, like cabinet,
Yeah.
and like we've stuck with each other since
Yeah.
then. Trips together, Tahoe, all of that, and we became like family. I think what I enjoy about us is no one's the same, or like we're not all identical to each other in terms of what we like and what we enjoy, and everyone respects that, and everyone has varying levels of like what they want to do, and we support that. So if you're introverted, stay introverted. We're not going to force you to do anything. If you're the extroverted one, make sure you're making space for the introverts. Like, it's a very well balanced group, and I enjoy that. Like, no matter what combination of 2-3 of us, it's always still going to be fun. It's going to still feel like you're hanging out with like your best friends or your family.
Yeah.
Um,
Can I ask
yeah.
the longest friendship you have in your life right now?
My longest friendship,
And friendship to whatever meaning you
yeah,
choose to apply.
I guess in terms of like really consistent, it would be them. right? Because I think we all knew, like the older ones of the group knew each other since we all started freshman year, so 2014.
Yeah.
So that's probably my longest in terms of like as an adult. Of course, I have my childhood and like high school friends,
Yeah.
but me being from Hoyt and moving here, it's like proximity, right? So I'm not with them all the time, so I catch up with them, but it's not as the same as like consistently
Friendship.
being with the people who've seen me grow from high school young self to like now as an adult.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
With that said, on the realm of friendship,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on friendship to lovers, lovers to friends?
Ooh, I think
We were
I-
listening to a podcast, so it was a great question. So
I think the foundation of any great relationship, especially partnership, is built on friendship. So the lovers to was it friends
Lovers
to
to
lovers?
Friends to lovers, lovers to friends. Either both of them.
I
idea
think
is like-
friends to lovers makes sense, but also in reverse, right? Because just because you
Lovers
become
to friends.
yeah, for lovers to friends, just because you revert back to friendship, it doesn't mean the relationship is bad. It just means you're not meant to be in a partnership with each other. I think that's
Yeah.
what people forget, that like, oh, I ended up dating my best friend, but it went bad. It doesn't mean your friendship has to suddenly disappear. It's just figuring out those boundaries about like, hey, I know we did this together as like partners, but that didn't work out for us. Like we need to learn how to like respect each other as friends again without having that like ego or like that jealousy appear. So
That's interesting because when people talk about lovers to friends, they talk about reverting back. So revert back is what you've said, or going back to a form of friendship. Both of us as people, especially in this era
Yeah.
right now, right? When people meet through dating sites, and so they immediately start going into this relationship in a sense of like
yeah.
we're dating,
Yeah,
and
like,
we're exploring
Have
this
you seen
romantically.
gay people date?
Hi, I'm queer.
It's like three conversations in.
and we're like,
I'm already talking to someone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We already it's like unnoticed, like, but we can feel the vibe.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
It's
yeah.
only been 3 hours.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly,
chill.
dude. So I mean, I'm pansexual, so I date women and men,
Yeah.
and so women wise, they move fairly quickly.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. I remember one time I went on a first date, and the most I've ever spent on a first date was we went to a food con.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds
we
fun,
went
but
to,
also
it was so much fun, but on a first date. But
Yeah.
hey, so we actually just meant to go to Oakland, Telegraph Avenue, and we decided to like walk around. But then there was a notification on my Instagram that says, "Hey, the Berkeley Food Fest." I forgot what that. Yeah, it was like I forgot what.
So you just want spontaneously.
We bought the tickets right then and there. We drove to, because we were already in Oakland. We drove to Berkeley, Telegraph Avenue, Berkeley. Yeah, and then we spent the whole entire day just like. And it totally breaks the whole who's gonna pay first or who's gonna pay or whatever. Especially with like it's like we're talking with our minds, and our bodies. You know what I mean? Like if you're moving forward to it, yeah. And then we kind of took turns. We spent a lot of money. I spent a lot of money. I know she spent a lot of money on me too. But that was the first and last date that we ever went to. Hi. It was a great time. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. It was a great time. It was
And,
the whole day.
that's
It was
okay.
exhausting.
Like you can have a great time with someone, but it doesn't mean I'm going to like stay
Yeah.
with you forever.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But definitely going into the approach, it kind of felt like we already skipped past so many levels. That was just on the first date.
Yeah.
Like skipped so many levels.
Well, that's just queer people. We
That's
we
true.
we lack boundaries sometimes when it comes to dating. So that's a different episode for a different day. We can dive into that.
Very, very interesting.
But I guess to clarify, when I mean revert back, I really mean like also like evolved, right? Like you're taking a step back from each other in terms of like how intimate you are, but your relationship can still evolve into something even better
Yeah.
and stronger. And I have an ex where he kind of ended it with me, and I was like heartbroken because he was my first like adult like crush, like love interest in college, where I felt like, oh, I'm really ready, like I understand myself enough. He was like, nah. And then it wasn't until like a few, like basically years later, where we reconnected and we were like, wow, we actually have a lot in common and we can be great best friends. But whatever we had back then was just not wasn't the right.
It was just a chapter.
Yeah, it was just a chapter, but that doesn't mean it's the end of the story, right?
Oh.
So, I'll clip that.
That's really good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I kind of agree too. Just because I oh, hi friend.
Hi, buddy.
I
Hi, pal.
I definitely agree. Hello. Oh
We
my
just got
God.
ran up by some dogs. Big dogs.
Hey,
These are wolves.
This can happen, right?
Yeah. They're so cute.
But yeah, no, I kind of agree too. But it also it has to have a level of work with yourself to still be able to have these type of friendships.
Yeah.
Because I knew that when I broke up with my last relationship, I thought that that I can't be in it, or you know what I mean. Like it was mutual, but like in the first few months of just like trying to figure out that breakup and trying to, in a sense, understand what went wrong, I started like trying to understand myself a little bit more, and then realizing that there was both our own toxicities involved, and being able to kind of settle that made me be able to see them as a human being again.
Yeah.
And then like if I were to bump into her, or her housemate wants me to she's my drinking buddy. Her housemate is my drinking buddy because we were friends before the relationship.
Okay.
And like if my her housemate wants to invite me for drinks, then I'm not nervous anymore to like if I bump into her. You know what I mean? But it does, I feel like it still has to take a level of emotional maturity to be able to have that sort of friendship, because I can understand if lovers turn into enemies.
Yeah.
Because there are the toxicity and the egos that, like you mentioned, like if it's not contained, then, or if it's also just the level of like, this is my boundary and I know that I have this this history with you, and I am choosing to walk my own life again, and I know that this person will just stay in the bleachers cheering me on. That's as far as you're gonna stay, right? Yeah. And I kind of get that as well, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I want to hear more about from y'all is lovers to enemies. What? Well, I've heard of it.
Some relationships aren't meant to continue. Some relationships you get into and you realize that the person that they are isn't
who they say
they were, or what you need in your life, and that's okay. Like it's okay to burn certain bridges, especially with a relationship that just never felt right. Like for me, the reason why I broke up with my most recent relationship was the fact that like after a while I stopped being able to see myself. And I think that was probably like the lowest I've ever been in a relationship, where it's like I no longer knew who I was and what I wanted to do, because I was so busy curating my actions and my personality off of their feedback of how I could be better, what I could do to make the relationship work, that it no longer became me. It was a version of me that they wanted, but not a version of me that actually existed.
Would you say that they created space in your relationship for you?
That's hard, because you can say they did, but on the other side, it also can be very manipulative, right? Like, how are you giving me space? Because you giving me space can look different from the space I actually need that would allow me to grow. You can also be giving me controlled space, where it's like you're allowing me to think that I'm
within these boundaries.
Like, wow, I'm really like, wow, you're actually respecting me. You're allowing me to grow, but it's still curated in a way that like, you're leading me to the general direction that you want me to grow into.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm going to go double check the camera. So we're going to take a quick pause.
Yes.
And then we'll be right back. And we're back, y'all. We were just talking about lovers to enemies.
Which I have a few questions on, because my perspective of lovers to enemies is I don't believe that's a thing that can happen in my... Look, that's not a thing that I want to happen in my life, because if we ever get to the point where it's lovers to enemies, I will just cut you out of my life and act like you just never existed.
Yeah.
But obviously still carry on what I learned from that relationship and what I know I'll tolerate and stuff like that. So to me, none of my exes have a view in my life or like see my life if we didn't end in good terms.
Well, I mean, I think with the term lovers to enemies doesn't necessarily mean like I'm gonna hate you forever, but like in terms of like the opposite of what we were talking about to lovers to friends, right? Like I think being able to cut them off is the fact that I am beating you. You're finally beating this boss level in the game, and now I can look past this. You know what I mean? And you're cut off, right? So I don't think like the term lovers to enemy doesn't necessarily mean that like you're the villain in my story, and I'm gonna.
Nor it's like on site or anything. Like for me, it's like it's not. I'm not gonna go out of my way to
meet me at the park.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight my ex. Like I don't. When I think of lovers to enemies, I just, like he said, it's like more so, I guess, accurately would be like lovers to acquaintances again.
Right, exactly.
Or strangers again, remember?
Oh,
YouTube,
no,
throwback.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yes,
like, it's like
yes,
having
yes.
strangers again. Like, you're not my enemy where I have ill intentions, but it's definitely not friendship worthy anymore.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I guess with me too is lovers to friends. I do really hold my friendship at a higher level than I do my relationships. So to me, friendship, when people say lovers to friendship, when you think about lovers to enemies, meaning like acquaintances, I still see those as the society's lovers to friends, because my actual friends and friendship, we don't talk every day.
Yeah.
We know what's going on with each other's lives, and we support each other from like afar, and then when we're near, like we pick things up right where we left off. And same thing with my exes too. Like if we're in good terms with my exes, they're still on my social media, and like from here and there, like we'll interact with each other. But it's never really completely friendship to me. Yeah. So that's my meaning of like friendship when it comes to love, from dating to friendship.
Yeah.
That it's never really like.
I guess it's perspective, right?
Yeah,
and it's relative to how you want to define. Oh my god. I guess it just depends on how you want to define friendships,
relationships, enemies,
best friends. We all have different definitions.
Right.
It's all subjective of how we label different people.
Your values, your life.
Yeah, but at the end of it, it's like from lovers to enemies or whatever. It's
like however you want to kind of coin that term for yourself.
It's just the fact that they're no longer in your life.
Yeah.
In that way. Yeah,
in that way, that intimate way.
Yeah.
So, would y'all ever get intimate with friends?
Baby, I'm gay.
Oh, I love
I've done it before.
Pick
but
it
also,
up.
Intimacy doesn't have to be sexual.
Yes.
I believe
intimacy.
in being intimate with your friends at any point. Like I like friend dates. I take my friends on dates too, or I'm
Hi.
This is a friend date.
Hello.
Intimacy could also just be like being able to connect deeper.
Yeah.
Right? And so whether that's like a one-on-one, whether that's, sending them text messages or like something where you're engaging more intentionally than just, yo, what's good? Like having fun.
You seen the weather today?
See the weather today?
It's raining.
like kissing me on the cheeks right now.
Yeah. I've gone, one of my best friends, Bestie, love you. We would go out on concerts, and it's so funny because we'd be each other's wingman. So we'd go to these concerts. If the crowd was, our crowd, we're like each other's wingman. Like, let me introduce you to that person. Let's meet a stranger. But if the crowd is, I remember we went to a concert one time, and the crowd was mostly, a crowd that we won't.
Ugly.
No.
So you're not gonna wing that.
No, I just with people we click with, right? It was a lot of couples, older couples, and it was just like, what are we doing here? So then we'll act as if we're a couple, and so like fit in with the crowd, and that's how we would get intimate. It's like sharing those moments, and it's okay if we were, it's okay to get physically intimate with your friends too, personally.
I love hugging my friends.
Yeah.
I hold my friends' hands. I have a lot of like straight like guys in my life who are very comfortable with their sexuality, and I will hold their hands.
I love that. Yes.
Because it's like, they know I'm not trying to do anything more than just like share love with you. I guess following up with intimacy, another way to think of it is like, it's like that one thing that you would never do with another friend.
Yeah.
Like, do you have that with certain friends where it's like, this is art, like this is me and their thing? Like, if I did this with anyone else, it would be disrespectful.
Yeah. I'm trying to think right now. This podcast guy, you better not be. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Imagine.
Does it with someone else? I have a new co-host.
Well, do you have anything in mind right now?
I mean, I agree too, because it's funny because like recently I was just watching, like I was scrolling to TikTok, and then just like the idea of like how men, straight men, I don't know, whatever men, right?
Yeah.
And like the whole societal thing about like men don't know how to express their intimacy aside from just sex, right?
Yeah.
And then I saw a clip where like I guess like this guy just getting pulled over, and he was just crying, and then the cop just asking like, "What do you need right now?" It's like, "I just need a hug," right?
Aww.
And that hella got me, because it was just and it was Trevor Noah who was just talking about it, right? And I think for the most part, like I love hugging my guy friends, I love hugging my girlfriends, I love hugging anyone, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, for me too, is that if that's what I want, then for the most part, people just want to be like seen, heard, and held, right?
Yeah.
And at least for me, right? And if you have given me some sort of investment in both each other's lives, then I appreciate you, and I'm super grateful for you for just being here. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, because like in the past, it's like, for me, like I would always think about like I'm going through these things alone. I don't have my guy friends don't understand me because I don't relate to any of what they're doing. I don't relate to any of the things that my girlfriends are doing. So like I'm trying to figure things out. But now it's like I'm secure with who I am, that I'm gonna give and show whatever type of, like, even with my dad, like I'll hug him now and everything because he won't show it, but I know deep down he appreciates this, because I would show resentment back in the day, right? Yeah. So.
I'm imagining that. That's so
Yeah. I should hug my dad more often.
I used to hug my dad. Then I don't talk to him now.
Oh,
I mean,
still love him though.
And then there's there's that level, because some people who may not have these type of relationships with certain people, and they know their boundaries, right? So that's how I see it.
Do you have anything where your friends, they can't do anything, like that's your thing?
That's
and your
our
friends.
thing. There's just like, there's like certain jokes where it's like, oh, don't joke about, like, don't have that type of humor with someone else. I get jealous.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yes, that's our joke.
Oh, that's
our joke.
That's like
the
you with the
music,
music. Yeah.
So that's literally, as I was connecting the dots, and I'm so glad you brought this up, because in our previous podcast, we talked about music. My thing is like music. If somebody decides to share music and not include me in it, that just feels like an attack. Whereas for you too, it's like, think of it this way: like if somebody really loves reading books and then they find out that their partner is in a book club.
Yeah.
What a pain.
Like, you didn't even think about inviting me?
I know, right? Or didn't even bring it up to like get excited. Like I don't need to be included in book club. I just want to know that, like,
I think for me it's more so, I guess I don't mind if they do those things with others, but at least consider me.
Yeah.
Consider me. Think about it.
Or at least mention me.
Yes.
And like, or like, there's some people where it's like, they play video games and we all play the same game. And then sometimes I'll see them on Discord without me. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess the game started.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just go watch YouTube again.
Maybe I was at work.
And maybe. I don't know, it could be that I'm consistently busy or whatever, but like, it's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
And I think to me, that's what bothers me, is when they don't give me that thought or that acknowledgement.
With that being said, is there any last minute things? Because it's starting to rain. Anything you want to like last minute add on, or
what did we talk about? We talked about
a lot.
We did talk about a lot.
We really did.
Or how about this? Is there anything you want to plug, Jericho?
I'll plug my podcast.
Yeah, of course.
So I restarted my podcast. I started in 2021 when I first broke up. Life happened, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a pause. And so now I'm back in 2023. It took me 2 years to heal.
The drama.
So I started it. It's called We Define. We Define is based on the words of redefine, because I believe that we all have a narrative that we can change and take ownership of, rather than putting it in the power of other people to tell us who we are.
Wow.
So yeah, it's on Spotify.
Can't wait.
All right, everyone, go check out Jericho's podcast. And again, we all deserve to shine.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh no!